Let me see if I can show it like this. Oh, it throws it so beautifully.
I took the laser cannon out of its place to show you. Whoops!
Whoops! Hello everyone, friends, welcome. I will introduce you to the Death Star from the Star Wars universe, one of the most iconic LEGO sets. LEGO released the first Death Star with the set numbered 10143 in 2005. By the year 2008, they released this set, code 10188. By the year 2016, the updated version of this set, code 75159, was released. Later, in the year 2025, the diorama Death Star hit the market, and it was a very large set. But I really love that the Death Star is spherical. This was more of a flat display set. Actually, it could have been done like this, a spherical set that can split in two. That would have been much more striking. That is what I think.
What do you think? Write it in the comments. Now let us move on to our next set, code 10188. This set was released in 2008. It was retired at the end of 2015, early 2016. It is a set with high market value, especially when it is in a sealed box. This set consists of 3,803 pieces and contains exactly 24 minifigures. I will specify its technical features in detail at the end of the video. It is one of the sets that contains the most movie scenes. 5 scenes from A New Hope, 3 scenes from Return of the Jedi. It is practically not a LEGO set, but a film set. Before seeing the box presentation and its contents, I want to tell you something. Sometimes they sell these sets on the market without the box. Because it is old, the box is often very damaged or has been lost. I am stating how many bags are inside this set, so that you can buy it according to that bag count. So you do not encounter a surprise later. Yes, now let's open our box and look at the contents, and then let's start building our set. But before that, let's not forget to like my video, follow my channel and turn on notifications, friends. On the front of our box, they have placed a very beautiful picture of the finished Death Star. They have also placed the age limit, the code, and the piece count here. There is a picture taken from the front and back, and scenes at the bottom. A picture of the Death Star taken from the back. Pictures showing how to use the weapons are also in this section. Now, let us see what will come out of our box. Yes. We can see our minifigures like this. Our security seals are present on both sides. You can open it can open it from both sides, but I prefer not to. At least let the security seals on one side stay in place. Inside our box, 4 large white boxes and 1 booklet came out. This is an encyclopedia just like the one in the Millennium Falcon, friends. It is a very large booklet. We will examine it in a moment. From our box came 45 bags, numbered 1 through 7, 2 unnumbered bags, our stickers and our booklet. Now let us examine our booklet. On the front of our booklet, there is again a very beautiful picture of the Death Star. The code 10188 is written here. When we turn it to the back, the pictures on the back of the box are featured again. It is exactly 264 pages. They have started the assembly phase right away. I guess they are impatient, just like me. Now let us start building our set, but before that, do not forget to like the video, follow my channel, and turn on notifications, friends. In the Star Wars universe, there are some structures that are not just a ship or a weapon. They represent the fear, power, and darkness of an era. That is exactly what the Death Star is. From the outside, it looks like a massive space station. But in reality, it carries the Empire's greatest threat within, because this structure is no ordinary war machine. It is powerful enough to destroy an entire planet with a single shot. So, when a power grows this large, can it truly be controlled? Or does it eventually turn into a terror that destroys those who use it? The most striking part of the Death Star is not just its size. What makes it unforgettable is the sense of hopelessness it creates. Any fleet, any defense system, or any planet that stands in its way can be wiped from history in a few seconds.
But Star Wars also shows us this. Even the things that seem the greatest have a weak point. What stops the massive Death Star is not a giant army, but a brave decision made at the right moment. Do you think the Death Star is the most terrifying weapon in Star Wars history, or the Empire's greatest mistake? Write it in the comments. Because in this universe, sometimes the greatest war begins with a single spark of hope against the darkness. When people hear Death Star, the first thing that comes to mind is a massive weapon, but this structure is actually much more than that. Imagine a giant base roaming the galaxy, functioning like a city of its own. Inside, there are soldiers, officers, hangars, control rooms, energy systems, and countless corridors. So the Death Star is not just a firing machine, it is like the moving center of the Empire. And that is what makes it truly dangerous, because even its approach to a planet is perceived as a declaration of war. Sometimes it does not even need to use its weapon, just its presence can force people to surrender. So why does an empire need such a structure? Is it really to defeat its enemies? Or is it to send everyone the message, you cannot resist me? The idea hidden inside the Death Star is actually quite simple, to establish order through fear. But in the Star Wars universe, this idea never stands for long, because people silenced by fear will eventually fight back. That is why the Death Star is remembered not just as a great weapon, but as a symbol of arrogance. It shows how a system thought to be perfect collapsed due to a small mistake. Do you think the Death Star was more of an engineering marvel or the greatest proof of the Empire's overconfidence? Let us know in the comments, because sometimes the greatest structures vanish into history due to the smallest oversight.
In this part of our set, we see the Dianoga that lives in the Death Star's trash compactor. In the movie, as Luke and his team were escaping, this creature emerged from the trash water, and with its single eye, it created a very memorable scene. Lego has reflected the junkyard atmosphere beautifully by adding cables, pipes and scrap pieces to this section. There is a Chewbacca detail in the back. On the left side, Luke Skywalker is featured. In this section, the scene where Obi-Wan Kenobi tries to disable the energy system inside the Death Star is recreated. The energy reactor detail you see here in the middle is designed quite nicely with blue transparent pieces. On the right, we see Obi-Wan Kenobi with his lightsaber here. Lego has successfully captured the mechanical and cold structure of the Death Star with grey tones and a cramped design. This section recreates one of the most iconic scenes from the Death Star. The escape scene, where Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker swing across with a rope, is detailed here. We see Luke Skywalker and Leia right here. On the left, we see the stormtroopers following them, while the wide gap in the middle captures the movement of the rope swing scene beautifully. This section shows one of the Death Star's maintenance and production areas. The mechanical arm detail in the center reflects the repair and production systems inside. The mechanical arm you see right here. On the left side, there is a small Imperial droid. The pieces on the floor and the narrow corridor design also give a great sense of the station being a giant, constantly operating war base. In this section, one of the Death Star's defense systems, a turbo laser cannon, is featured. Thanks to its rotating mechanism, let me show you, the weapon can move, giving the scene a more dynamic look. I think this barrel structure and the red details you see here are nice pieces that support the station's military vibe. In this section, the TIE fighter, located in the Death Star's hangar area, can be seen, right over here. Despite its small scale, I really like the wing details and cockpit design. In the front, there is a Death Star trooper in a black uniform, and next to him is Grand Moff Tarkin. The directional signs on the floor and the maintenance area details nicely reflect the hangar's intense military atmosphere. And here is the Death Star's giant super laser system. The large circular structure in the center represents the station's main energy antenna. The neon green laser lights also recreate the Death Star's iconic planet-destroying attack.
In the back, there is an Imperial officer at the control panel. We see Han Solo in one of the control areas inside the Death Star. The black console and control panels in the back represent one of the station's operation centers. On the right, we see the small interrogation droid defense detail. The poser with the blaster in Han Solo's hand captures the action vibe of the scene very well. On this section of the Death Star, we recreated the lightsaber duel between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. In the back, the Emperor's royal guards in their red outfits are positioned, and up here is Emperor Palpatine. These blue energy details reflect the tense atmosphere of the scene quite well against the dark design. At the top of our set, we see the Death Star's defense cannons. The double-barreled laser cannons represent one of the station's heavy defense systems. The neon green laser tips and the large grey body design complement the section's powerful military feel quite well. We can move it left and right like this. We can move it more or less like this. We see one of the control and maintenance sections of the Death Star. Detailed minifigures like the Assassin Droid, Mouse Droid and Protocol Droid are included. In the back, a very busy workspace has been designed with console equipment, control panels and maintenance gear. Here we see one of the Death Star's control rooms. With R2-D2 and C-3PO at the consoles, the section really gives off the feeling of an area where the station's communications and systems are monitored. The screen details and control panels in the back also reflect this technological atmosphere very well. We see one of the Death Star's meeting and command areas. The large black table in the center and the seating arrangement around it show that this section is designed for high-level meetings.
And here we see our Han Solo minifigure. Our Death Star set number 10188 is finished. Honestly, I didn't think I would enjoy building it this much. Each level is beautiful and contains unique details. Think of it like modular buildings while you build. It goes floor by floor and is very simple. I mean, despite having 3,803 pieces, I didn't struggle at all. There is almost no repetition. Only while building these intermediate floors are there some repetitions. They are not tiring at all. Every detail is beautiful in its own way. The antenna, the cannons, the figures. I can say that I am amazed by this set. Especially here, we have a laser cannon. Let me show you right away. Let me see if I can show this laser cannon like this. Oh, it launches it so well.
I took the laser cannon out of its place to show you. Whoops!
It turned out great. It launches this piece. It attaches right here easily. I loved it. I will do it again. We hold it from the top, from the bottom upwards. It just hit the camera with a snap. It launches quite powerfully too. I can say it is incredibly fun. By the way, these pieces are not very fragile. We have secret passages right here, like this. It can be moved back and forth, which is a great feature. I can say every part has its own detail. The cannons here, our laser cannons move left and right and they move up and down like this. Every part of it is beautiful in its own way. The elevator in the middle isn't very prominent. It could have been a bit more visible. Since it's tucked away, I have to film the up and down detail from very close up. I tried to show that to you. I can say that I really like this set. I will definitely buy the two previous retired sets and add them to my collection. I will give you information about the differences between them. Our set weighs 8 kilograms, but since it is easy to carry, you will not have any problems. I really enjoyed building it and I am very happy to share this experience with you. Thank you so much for watching my video, friends. Now, do not forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. Take very good care of yourselves. Goodbye, friends.